Alrighty, so we are back in the workshop today, and I'm looking at a couple different kinds of roller shades that use cassettes. So this here is actually a dual shade that uses a cassette, but it's very similar to a roller shade. Same thing with shear shades, dual shades, rollers, solars. They're all based on that same roller system. Now with roller shades, there's a couple different kinds of brackets that are really popular, but very new, very interesting bracket come across my desk here that I want to take a look at because it's not really like anything else I've ever seen before. So I'll give you a close-up view on that. If you have recently purchased a product that uses this bracket, it's a new design. I don't think I've seen any other retailer use this before. This seems to be a brand new look, but I do want to tell you a couple cool things about it. Looks like it's super well made. Looks like it's not going to bust out on you. These springs aren't going to fly out. They're pretty well retained in there. And then as far as these two little arms here, good tension on these. The shade isn't going to come out by itself. But at the same time, once you do have it installed, if you need to take it down for any reason, all you have to do is push in on the shade and you'll see how it, there you go, compresses like that. All you have to do is push in on the shade on the front of the cassette, and then it would compress, and then you can just swing the cassette down and out, and it should release. So I want to show these to you again. I've got a couple videos on here about brackets, but since this is a new bracket on the scene, I want to take a moment and cover it. So yeah, just get a good look at that. And if you have this bracket, then I'm going to shoot a little video here, show you how these install, how these mount. But yeah, so let's get started. If you take a look at my dual shade here, like I said, it has a cassette. The front of the cassette is pointing me. The back of the cassette that would usually be pointing the window is pointing away from me here. And you'll see how the bracket attaches on. So you've got two screw holes, one here and one here. And the nice thing is it looks like these screw holes are placed pretty well so that they don't actually interfere at all with like the mechanical operation of compressing this bracket. So you'll see nowhere in there would that hit the screw that you'd have in that first hole. So when you install these, you're going to be installing them up into the window like this. You'll throw one screw through here, one screw through here. On a bracket like this, you probably want to get both screws in. It's pretty thin here in the back to just do one screw. I think you want to have both with a bracket like this. You at least want to have this front screw. With a bracket like this, you probably want to have both. But if you can only do one and you only have, a certain number of screws, do this front screw hole here. So this part would be into the back of the window facing the glass up in the top. This part here that you can compress will be facing out toward you. You'll throw a screw up through here, throw another screw up through there if you can. And then as it's installed, you'll come here and you'll get your cassette, okay? And what you'll do, as the bracket's installed in the window, you'll push in on the cassette and then rotate like that. And then when you let go, the bracket will grab onto the cassette. Can you see that? Let's take one more look at that. So again, you've got the bracket installed up in your window. What you're gonna do is you'll take your cassette, you'll get the lip here hooked on the front part of this bracket, just like that, those little claws there. And then you'll push in on the front of the cassette, compressing the springs, rotate it to get the back to come up to meet the back part of the bracket and the little claws there, and then release. And once you've got that in, that's pretty bulletproof right there. Yeah, that really doesn't want to come off for anything. So yeah, so pretty nice design. Like I said, quite a bit stronger than some of the other things I've seen out there. There's no plastic on this. It's all metal all the way around. Really only two holes you could possibly put a screw through, so that's nice, pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, as long as you install it up in your window like this with these screw holes facing up, this part here that can be compressed facing toward you, you should be good to go. I think outside of that, just make sure that you've got them pretty square and straight in the window. You don't want these to be counter rotated or anything like that, or one's forward from the other. You want them to be pretty straight, pretty square, and this thing should snap in on the first try. Pretty nice little bracket. Looks like it's pretty easy to install. Again, if you recently purchased a product that uses a bracket like this, I hope this video helped. And I'll keep an eye out for any other new designs on the market.